I'm the field lead for the Australian Right Whale Research Group, and I'm here at the Head of Bight on Yellowta Land researching the southern right whales in their major aggregation area in South Australia. We've been studying the whales here since 1991, and our three main objectives are: one, to continue the long-term research at their major calving aggregations; two, to assess the visual health assessment of southern right whales; and three, to use southern right whales as an indicator species for climate variation. We spend up to 3 months of the year here at the Head of Bight. Our study site consists of 16 vantage points that are distributed along the Bunda Cliffs. We spend a minimum of 10 minutes at each vantage point, and we're looking at how many whales we're seeing. We're taking photo identification, and we're also looking at their behaviour and where they are within the study site. To take photo ID, we use drones as well as handheld cameras from the cliffs. Whales have unique callosity patterns, which means that we can identify each individual. We're very lucky here that our research has been going since 1991, which means we have over 33 years of photo identification data. So when we take photographs of the whales here, we match them to our long-term catalogue and we can look at their life histories. Life histories are really important. It tells us how often they're returning, how often they're calving, the age of sexual maturity. It's a really important indicator for the health of the species, as well as it can tell us really important things like those life history parameters, which can feed into things like abundance estimates. We know that most of the whales that we sight here are distributed within the 10-metre contour line, which means that they spend a lot of their time really close to the cliffs, really tucked in the nice protected areas. Most of the whales that we see here at Head of Bight are mum and calf pairs, so the mums are coming here to give birth and they raise their calves. They'll spend up to 3 months of the year here. They'll teach their calves how to swim, how to communicate, get them nice and strong and healthy for the migration down south.
"147 hours of effort was logged at all three survey sites: Head of Bight, Fowler's Bay and Encounter Bay. In total, 551 southern right whale sightings were recorded. This was the lowest since 1993. The maximum daily count of 49 whales was recorded. This was 53% lower than the 2022 season. Just over 60% of whales were re-sighted at least once over the course of the season. We sighted 3 cow and calf pairs and 9 unaccompanied adults at Fowler's Bay. We sighted no cow and calf pairs and only 5 unaccompanied adults at Encounter Bay.
I got distracted, there's a whale.
The 2023 season recorded the lowest counts of southern right whales since 1993 during the cliff-based surveys at the Head of Bight. While interannual variation in abundance is common at some sites, including Fowler's Bay and Encounter Bay, concerningly low numbers were recorded across the entire Australian population throughout the 2023 breeding season. At the Head of Bight, the maximum daily count of individual southern right whales was more than 50% lower than the 2022 season numbers. At Fowler's Bay, 0 whales took up residence, the first time this has happened in over a decade. Similarly, no whales were resident in Encounter Bay. Only 6 sightings of southern right whales were recorded across 21 surveys, with no cow-calf pairs observed in the area. Variation in annual abundance at these sites may be partially explained by the slow rate of population growth due to increasing average calving intervals. At the Head of Bight in 2023, the average calving interval was 4.2 years. These trends are being observed across the southern right whale range, including Australia's eastern subpopulation, South Africa and Argentina. No 3-year calving intervals were recorded for breeding females at the Head of Bight in 2022. and only one was recorded in 2023. Due to the open nature of the population and increased movement between calving grounds in recent years, it is possible that calving events are being missed during cliff-based surveys. It is also possible that climatic pressures may be influencing calving intervals by causing extended breeding cycles, or we may be seeing an increase in failed pregnancies. Given the extreme low numbers recorded, drivers of change in distribution and abundance must be explored to explain this anomaly in the 33-year dataset. Decreased calving success of southern right whales in breeding grounds off Argentina has been linked to declines in krill density at feeding grounds as a result of climate anomalies. In South Africa, correlations between the Oceanic El Niño Index, sea ice extent, and ocean productivity and southern right whale calf abundance have been documented. In Australia, there are correlations between the Oceanic El Niño Index and Antarctic Oscillation Index and the interannual variability in calving intervals of the Australian population. In Australia, there are correlations between both the Oceanic El Niño Index and Antarctic Oscillation Index on the interannual variability seen in the calving intervals of the Australian population. Research is underway to examine the correlation and lag times between reproductive success in the Australian population and climate anomalies, including the Oceanic El Niño Index, Antarctic Oscillation, and Antarctic sea ice extent. Additionally, demographic parameters for southern right whales of Australia are currently being modelled for a multi-ocean assessment of southern right whale population, funded through the IWC SORP. The study contributes to the IWC SORP Theme 6, the Right Sentinel to Climate Change, which aims to assess the links between demographics, foraging ecology, health, and climate variance. The Minderoo Foundation funded the 2023 Australian right whale research field season and is funding current research objectives to describe the life history, distribution, and relative abundance of southern right whales at major calving grounds in South Australia, assess the correlation between Southern Ocean climate variation and southern right whale calving intervals, and provide a visual health assessment of reproductive females. From all of us here at the Australian Right Whale Research Team, we would like to thank all of our supporters and sponsors for the 2023 season, helping us continue this important work into the future.